Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of Mount and Blade Bannerlord. If you remember from the last episode, we sort of left off, at Chicand here, and we've been doing a lot of trading, recently won a tournament, and we're sort of just probably going to carry on with the way we've been going in terms of trading. So let's have a quick look at the inventory just to sort of jog our memory. You see we've got some tools and some pottery and stuff, quite a few items that we're probably looking to sell on at Akalat. If there's any sort of tournaments on the way, we'll definitely pick those up, which we'll double check actually. If we go to the arena here, we can go in and ask the tournament master if there's any tournaments nearby. It's Makeb and Orthingard still, which are the same as the last time I checked, I believe. Fortunately, the trade up in those areas aren't as prevalent. So I know Orthingard can have quite a lot of, I think it's wool and flax are the main ones that you're going to see over there. Or that might even be a Baltac hand. Apologies if this is some sort of regional naming that I'm unfamiliar with and I'm butchering them all. Please just to correct me in the comments. But yeah, we'll head over to Akalat, and what I'll do, if the trading side of things is a little bit boring, I can include sort of a timestamp maybe to skip ahead. Because we're not going to be doing it forever. It's just really these early games. Once we sort of get to around that 60-70k mark, which won't take long, we'll definitely move on from the trading, because we want to sort of start looking at getting some sort of mercenary contracts with one of the kingdoms. We got to get our renown up as well to do that, so we're going to be fighting a few more fights. And yeah, that'll let us progress and earn money in other ways than just trading. Everything here is looking like a really good price, so probably just going to sell out of everything we've got here. Might keep hold of those hides. I can't remember how much we bought them for. I think it was probably less than 80, because that's sort of what tends to be the average price. I mean, it says 43% cheaper than average, so yeah, we probably keep all of the salt can go, because I know we got that for really cheap. The rest of this is just sort of our own goods that we want to keep hold of. And then let's have a quick look. So we might be able to pick up one linen here, and take that with us. We don't want to get too much of that because the price isn't majorly above what we're buying it for, so with the player trade penalty, which I mentioned previously, it's going to be difficult to get rid of at a profitable price. So I think as well, if you get a better bow than this, that'd be good. Missile speed. I think we'll just leave it for now on the bow, just because it's the one we've got. It's pretty bad, but the other options are also pretty bad. So this star falchion, this might be worth picking up here. So it's got good weapon reach. I'd say around 110 is really good. So 116 on the one we've got is actually really good. It's a really long sword, and when you're fighting off horseback, that can come in quite handy. But it's got a massive larger cut, and there's no thrust, which I personally do not like the thrusting of swords. So we'll happily get rid of that. And yeah, I think we're sort of good there now. I should check. There's no herding debuff at the moment, so we'll just head straight down to a docker. I noticed in the last video as well, did forget to mention, so I was buying salt at Dinara here, so there is a major trade penalty when buying from villages. So if you go to buy the salt from Dinara, even though I did do it, it's actually going to be cheaper to get it at docker. So the trade goods from the villages, they'll always charge you a sort of a premium, even though they'll go sell it for cheaper to the town. So yeah, I mean we bought it even though we probably would have been best just to buy it from the main town here. So this probably, I think we bought this for 12 last, and it's actually 10 in the town here now. So what we want to do, probably pick up some more hides, so we can see actually we could have sold them for 80. The pottery as well we're going to pick up. And you're probably wondering, as we go between the towns, how we can keep selling these tools for a really high price and stuff, even though we just obviously sold a large amount of them. And the reason for that is obviously there's other caravans and traders in the games, and they're going to be moving them goods, out of the towns we're selling them at to other towns. and we might just risk it with one oil. So oil is a funny one. Early game you can make massive amounts of money on it if you're really quick, but this price goes down really fast as well. It's really easy to get caught out. I know in a previous save I picked up quite a lot of these for 300 because I'd managed to sell them for 900 before that, and I ended up with loads of them in my inventory, and the price had gone right down to like 150, and it was just, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the funnest of times. We can obviously pick up a lot of this iron. This is a really cheap price for iron. We won't get too much though, because when you sell it the price drops really quickly. So, and then the clay as well. We'll pick up quite a bit of this. The price on this doesn't drop very quick, but there's quite a large amount of it in the game, so you have a lot to sell basically. And we just don't want to get that herd in debuff. Yeah, we can see it's appeared there now with that extra horse. Essentially, the more troops you have, the more horses you can have. So we've got 20 troops and there's 20 horses, which has kept us basically out of the herding grey zone. So we get rid of some of that clay just so we're not overweight. Let's have a quick look as well. So for 258, so it's a pretty good upgrade to pick up on the bow there. There's a few little icons to keep an eye out on. So the main one for the bow that you want to look for is that it can be used on horseback. So this one can. If you couldn't use it on horseback, it would have like a horse with a cross through it. No bows can be used with shields, obviously. You can't pull a string back if you're holding a shield. And no bows can be used with one hand in the game. So we'll swap that out and make sure to sell our rubbish hunting bow. We might be able to pick up some better arrows as well. So arrows, this 3 pierce or 1 pierce, depending on which ones you pick up. This is basically additional damage on top of the bow you've already got. So the higher pierce is always what you're going to be looking for. And also the stack amount is quite important. So you want to have more arrows to be able to shoot them. I think we'll just go for this one. It's slightly cheaper, slightly less arrows, but it's higher pierce. And pierce is, I'm pretty sure it's sort of the highest damage indicator in the game. So for example, like pole arms and stuff will come with, say, like 40-50 pierce, and they can output the highest damage because pierce can obviously pierce armor. I know I mentioned I don't like the thrust on swords, which is pierce damage. It's just not fun when you want to be swinging a sword with really high cut damage. The last thing you want is to be stabbing it with no speed behind it instead, and you're doing no damage and potentially getting killed yourself. But yeah, we've got a sword that doesn't actually have thrust. There are blades obviously that don't have thrust like the one I've got here, and you can blacksmith ones without thrust, but unfortunately the trade-off for that is the highest cut damage swords in the game always have thrust. So we don't want to sell too many tools here. Pottery's still a really good price. Felt and hides, I can't recall how much I bought this up. You can start to see now after a few runs the oil will get rid of, which is really good. After a few runs we were supposed to sell this docker. I know I keep cutting myself off, but the prices here are starting to sort of normalise. They're a lot closer to what we bought the stuff for. I think the felt was less than 90, so we'll get rid of a few pieces. And iron ore was really cheap, and clay was only 4, but we'll get rid of some of that now. So what we'll do now, we'll make one more run to Akalat, and then we're going to make our way up to these towns up here. So it'll increase sort of the time between towns, allow stock to sell and move around a bit more, and it'll sort of just opens up the trade path for extra goods as well that we didn't have previously. So we want to get rid of this. Tools, we're still making a profit, it's not as much. Hides, get rid of some of them. We probably keep hold of some of this stuff because we don't have to sell it, and we might find that when we head up to these other towns, there's going to be a demand for those goods over there. So we'll just see, hopefully, yeah, so there's still a tournament on, which is really good. Tournaments are sort of the best way when you haven't got a big troop of guys in your army to sort of get some early game renown. And for one of the main quest lines here, so if we go to quests, we need to So that's about the sisters quest. Establish your clan. So here, so you need to have 2,000 dinars, current party size of 20, and we need to have 50 renown as well as a companion hired. And once we do this, it'll unlock sort of another main storyline quest as well. So what you can do in the taverns, there's going to be some NPCs getting around, and you can offer them to work for yourself. And NPCs, the good thing about them is they can get wounded, which puts them out of the fight, but they can't die. And they also level up the skills the same way we do here in the character menu. And they can become really powerful fighters, as well as, you know, they can become your sort of lords and ladies of the land, and fight for your clan, as well as sort of, you know, leading parties of say 100 troops themselves, which is sort of where they'll become most important, as well as giving your own party certain buffs to say steward, which we want to probably put a couple of focus points into, because it's going to let us have more troops, as well as, you know, being able to spot people across the map with like scouting and things like that. So we've got quite a few focus points here, so we're going to get them into the sort of main spots here. So we've leveled up. So focus points, these are going to let you learn the skills you put them into faster. So if we have a look, the learning rate is 6.5x on one-handed, and that's primarily due to skill focus there. You can see it's given a 3.75 multiplier on that. So it means we're going to fly through the one-handed up into this green zone a lot faster. And then you have little perks then, sort of thing, in each skill, and obviously different ones have different effects. So we're going to go for here. So Shield Basher can be good, but I only ever find it useful in tournaments, which there's sort of ways to cheese every tournament anyway, so you don't really need it. And 20% handling speed is mean we're going to be able to swing it faster, the sword, which is what we're going to be going for. And then bows. So headshot damage can be good, but obviously it does quite a bit of damage with headshots already. There is a multiplier for hitting headshots, of course, but it also gives 20 bow skill to troops in your formation. So any bowmen that are in my formation when we're in a fight, in a big land battle, they're going to get 20 bow skill, which obviously is quite a large boost in terms of the skill, especially if there's some of the higher end troops. It's going to give them a really big boost that's going to benefit you greatly. I think we're going to go for, I want to go for the accuracy penalty, but I don't know if that affects horses or not. I would assume so, but we'll go for the accuracy penalty, because it's also going to give 5% more damage to troops in our formation as well. And then we're going to go nimble steedier. Manoeuvring's how fast you can turn the horse. Charge damage, I mean, the first sort of guy you'll charge into will take, you know, sort of 20 damage maybe if you've got a really good horse, but it's really not a large amount of damage. It's not really worth specking into, and manoeuvring is going to be really good for when you're on those big fights and you're in a bit of a pinch, as well as the 30 riding skill to troops in your formation. So let's have a look. So scouting now. So this one's an interesting choice. So you could go for 2% travel speed during daytime, which obviously most of the time you're traveling it's during day, which can be pretty good. So technically you could say overall this is going to benefit you more because most of the travel's during the day, because the night time's obviously shorter. But you get such a big debuff on night time that I typically go for the 5% travel speed during night time. As well as the 30% range, because you have reduced range at night. It just means that generally overall, because you're already going to be pretty quick during the day, I find that one sort of works out a little bit better. And we should have picked some of these up for sure before, so we can see this price penalty here. So we're definitely going to go for goods. Equipment is generally worth quite a bit anyway for the good stuff, so we don't really need the penalty loss there, and we can see that your profits are marked. So that's when I think when the blue and red highlights for the good prices come up as well. So bartering for safe passage. We got caught by some bandits in the last episode. This is going to make it cheaper for them to pay them off so they don't attack you. We're not going to play that style. We're confident we're going to kill the bandits, although we did lose the fight earlier on. But yeah, we're going to go for carrying capacity, just because it just means we can hold more, and eventually you're going to be stocking up on a lot more goods, generally, just for food for your party. If you've got a big party, your troops are going to need to hold more food for them. So yeah, this one can sort of go anyway. In a town, there's going to be different tradespeople and merchants. I don't tend to do a lot of quests for them, just because they're sort of just random quests that don't really benefit you unless you're sort of desperate. And the relationship, there's other ways to get this up with anyone later on into the game. So really we can pick any, and we're probably going to go for this one just because of the 15% price penalty when buying from villages, and animal sales are not really something we ever do, just because it's just not a very good investment. So we're going to go to the arena and join the fight first. So we've got some pretty good shoulders here that are going to be a lot better than what we've got. We'll put maximum bet on there as well. When we're on the... We've got to be careful for these couch lancers that are going to be hitting into us from all sides. He's charged us with the horse there. We want to take down this guy. Sort of keep swinging on them, and eventually they sort of just open up the shields, but they do have a quicker swing than you, so you got to be sort of on it while you do this. And obviously if his horse comes and does me in the back, then we'll be in trouble. He's only got a spear, so he's going to have a much slower stab speed than we have swing, so we can just keep swinging on him. He's changed to his sword. There we are. And we've actually won the first round. So we skip this one, we're not actually in it, so that's why it gives us the option to skip. We'll place the maximum bet again. Oh shit, it's the glaives. Yeah, you gotta pay attention for that one. So these glaives are absolutely lethal. We can one-shot him just as well as he can one-shot us. But obviously, you got to have the correct swing on there. Yeah, so he'll have better armor, better gear, probably better at swinging these things, and we've just one-shot him anyway with it, and it's scary, honestly, when you get a glaive fight. Ooh. So usually I tend to sort of pick him down a bit with the bow, keeping him out of range with that sword, just until they're sort of low enough to swing. And this is going to level up our bows, which eventually it won't be so horrific how large our crosshair is. And that when the crosshairs go in red there, it's basically saying that I'm too sort of sideways on my horse and I can't actually view the angle I'm aiming at. So we got to turn our horse so we can't face it directly 180 degrees looking backwards while riding the horse, essentially. And there we are. It's got a few bow skill up. We've leveled up as well, which is always good. And we're into the finals. We're against a heavy lancer, so this is sort of an end game unit. And we've got that glaive, which we don't like fights because they're terrifying. So he sort of mains this weapon, so he's going to be much more powerful with us than this. So we've hit him once, so one more good hit and he's gone, but obviously it's the same. He could just one-shot us with it. Oof. Yeah, this is filthy. Not liking this. We got him anyway. And there we are. Tournament won. More renown, more armor, more money. All good things. And then if we just go to the trade panel, we can see this new shoulder part. And here's something I didn't mention as well. So there's actually a couple of different outfits up here. There's the civilian outfit. This is sort of what you wear when you're walking around towns. Say if you're ever breaking into like a dungeon where there's prisoners and stuff, this is the outfit you're going to wear. And you can't wear like plate mail and stuff in here. So you see all these red items that we can't bring with us. It's sort of a select type of clothing that you can wear. Ours is pretty bad. We're not really going to put anything into this just yet. We sort of will use the spurs for it, just because we don't at this point in the game need to do any of that. Stealth outfit. This is the one, if you remember the tutorial we played. This is sort of your stealth outfit, and you can see different items give different stealth bonuses. So the reason I came in here, I just wanted to see if this cape gave stealth bonus, which is better. It's the same, but it's less armor, so we can just sell this item and not worry about it basically. These do make a massive difference. It's quite easy really to get stealth clothing, stealth items. They're generally quite cost effective. So a quick look, so we can get some boots there that are 10 for 191. We'll upgrade these now because there's no point fretting over such a small amount of coins. Other than that, we're just going to sell our goods, and you can see here now we've got the highlighted green prices. Green essentially saying good. However, I would not just follow this. So I don't know where it works the average out of. I don't know if that's like the whole map maybe, that it's calculating that average. It probably will be that. But what you got to bear in mind is we've got to take these goods, across the world to sort of sell them somewhere, and by the time we get there, another merchant caravan might have done that trade. So you got to sort of, the best way really is to memorise. We know 13 for clay's a pretty high price. We ignore that. We know we can get iron ore cheaper at a dock. You can see there we can buy for 9, so we're going to ignore that. These planks are a good price. 84 is pretty cheap. So what we'll do first, we'll just sell our tools. Hides, we're not making loads of money off them. We'll just sell 5 of that. Felt, sell a couple. We know we got it all for less than 100. Linen, we definitely don't sell that. Beer. Now I do need this for the troops' food, but 319 is probably like the highest price I've ever seen. So we're going to sell that. And then what we want to do, whale oil. This is pretty cheap price. We might buy one whale oil. We'll buy some pottery, it's pretty cheap, and we are going to pick up some planks as well. Hides, did I sell them already? We won't buy any because I think I did. Hardwood, this is a really good cheap price. Usually this is sort of, you have to buy this at battalions. This is one of those again where when you sell it the price goes down really quickly, and usually it sells for about 30, I would say is a good price. And obviously we're buying for 10, so it's about 20 coins per one. But yeah, that's sort of everything we need from there. So we head down to Makeb now. There's another tournament we can get stuck into over here. We will fight some of these bandit parties. Probably not stepper bandits. We'll look more for like looters, just because the stepper bandits are all going to be on horseback, and they're quite tedious to fight unless you've got horses as well, which at this point we don't. We can actually have some more troops, and we've got the money to get some decent ones, so we'll offload all of this now because we're making good money on it all. 131 for iron ore is crazy. We'll just get rid of these hides because I can just tell they're going to be a pain to sell. Yeah, we keep the food. We're not that down bad for 50 dinars or 20 dinars off our cheese stock. And we can actually see beer is really cheap, so we can literally go back to Orthingold, with a good amount of this, and just sell it on right away. This isn't a good price for flax, nor is it for clay. We bought clay for 3 at our dockers, and it's trying to tell us that it's good at 29, which sort of is evidence that not every price is perfect. We'll take another whale oil. They can be quite difficult to sell for a good price, but we'll take the risk. Right, okay, and then we're going to go to the arena and join the tournament. So it looks like it's a big first round, and let's have a quick look at this. It's not an amazing sword, but we can sell it for somebody. A good time now to get our bow up while we got static targets. Nice easy way to level up our bow skill a little bit here. Let's hit my own guy then. Oh, that was my own guy. Okay. Where's this last guy? So we love it when they charge into the wall. It means they can't run away from us. That's the first round won. Get another wager on. Them throwing spheres can do a lot of damage, so we don't want to get too involved with the guys using those things. This guy's really low now. Just finish him off with a sword, or he will. It's hard to tell sometimes what colour you are. I think we're red. Just take down. We want to focus on the horses just because they're going to be the more dangerous opponent. I think these two are on the same team as well. He's going to be the stronger of the two opponents. Stab his mate while he got a chance. He's blocking. Yeah, he wants to take it to the sword play. I'm going to hope you had a bit more damage done to you than... Oh, yeah, look how fast his swing speed is compared to us there. Overhead stab. Underhand stab. Overhead stab. Overhead stab again. It's got to be really low now. There we are. This is one of them easy fights where we just sort of walk to the left so he tries to predict where we're going, see it coming and go back to the right. Or vice versa even. Got my left and right mixed there. We'll pull out our throwing spears. And these do a ton of damage. You know, 40 damage is pretty good. Skip that round. Into the last round now. And fortunately for us, yeah, we've got a bow against a guy who I'm pretty sure is going to be a lancer rather than a bow specialist. It's not the most fun way to fight. It's definitely the way to win. He wants to hook us with his bow, so we're going to get a sword out here. It's got to be really low. You can see this how fast his swing is compared to ours though. I'd say one or maybe two more arrows. No, we've hit a headshot and he's gone. Okay. Let's have a quick look at that sword. It's nice to see it on the comparison. It's got much faster swing speed, which does do extra damage the faster you swing it. Thrust speed, obviously not bothered about the thrust. We'll probably just keep the one we've got. It's got much better reach and it's also got much better cut. So this one we can just sell and it's an easy 1,000 dinars for us there. Planks. Do we buy planks from here? I mean, pretty sure we bought them all for 100, so I'll just take some easy profit there. Yeah, and I guess now what we want to do is, if we head back down to Chikand, we can have a quick look. And we might find if we go to here. So what we want to look for is these tribal warriors. So they come with horses already. The way unit progression works, so usually they start off as a nomad, and you can see there's the tiers on each troop, and you've got to upgrade them by sending them into fights with you basically. But for example, the horse ones we have to have a mount to give them as well. So it's, while we could, you know, get a recruit, train him up, provide him with a horse and spend money doing that, we can just recruit them as horsemen already, which they do cost obviously 200, but it's likely to be cheaper than doing it ourselves, and obviously we don't need to get the required XP amount as well. So what we want to do now, whale oil, so we made a good amount of money there off that. This linen is going to be the bane of my life, but we'll keep hold of it. Really good price here on the hardwood. We'll sell it down to 30 because I know that the other towns aren't going to have any of this, so you might as well keep hold of it. So yeah, nothing really worth picking up there. In one of my previous playthroughs, a dock also, as well as tools, had leather, so it must sort of vary a little bit in what items the town sort of start with. But yeah, leather was a really good one. You could buy it once again for about 70 coins and selling it for like 400 or 500 then. Was able to progress quite a bit faster than I have done in this raid. I forgot about selling that beer, didn't I, to the other town, which is fine. We can just keep hold of that. Our units will use it. We bought it for cheap. This is really good price for leather. We're going to pick up all of that. What else is there? Planks, there's not enough in it for me to want to buy them. We want to just check as well. So there is another tournament here, so we're going to join this one. Yeah, we're really hoping for like a really good helmet. A banner is a bit upsetting. They give you basically, you can have one banner equipped and it gives you certain effects. So you can see the banner effect is decreased charge damage by 20%. So that basically all my units will receive 20% less charge damage. A bit of a rubbish one really. Focus down some of these weaker units. Gone. Last one now. He's low as well. Doesn't seem like we have a sword this time. We've got to use this terrible spear until he's dead. He's got to be really low. One hit. There we are. Obviously always doing the maximum bet here. They're sort of relatively easy to win these tournaments, so we sort of take advantage of just putting the max bet on each time. Ooh. Yeah, we want to get our sword out. The spear's terrible. Got our teammate doing from behind. Oof. So these can be pretty good for taking down shields. Obviously we don't let him swing into us. So what have we got here? These both enemies. More, he's dead. And we can get on these horses if we can catch up to one. Oh god, gotta be careful though. Yeah, so he's charged actually. Try to get on this horse. There we are. Keep up with him a bit more now. You can already see how much faster our swing's gotten. Just off the little fights we have had. There we are. And practically giving away the tournaments for these sort of rounds. Oh shit. Last round now. Against a pork chop. Oh, it's the glaives. Gotta do this every time. be able to get a good hit on him there. Imagine charging one of these down back in the day. Don't want to be charging one of these down. Just the force of holding one when you're in a fight. Oof. Thank God we got that better armour. Be done so for sure. Ah, too scared of his glaive that I'm not getting close enough. Oh. Carry on like this, I'm going to lose the fight. There we are. 100 damage. You got the banner. I'm not super excited over it. We'll chuck it on, because why not? But yeah. So if we go back to the arena as well, we'll ask where the next tournament is, because there might be one. So there's one at the top, very top town of this culture, but we're going to head down to a docker first, and then we're going to fly up that way, right to the tip of the empire, or to the tip of the Khergits. So if you played the old game, I mean, I called them Khergits, that's the name of the faction in the old game that focused on horse archers. These are the Khergits. I think they sort of take a lot of inspiration from those older ones. As well, one thing that I did find with the new DLC, a new unit called the Nord Huskarl has been added. If you played Mount and Blade Warband, you'll know the Huskarl for sure. It's the best infantry unit in the game. Very, very fun to have an army of those on your side. Let's have a look here. So these green lights are making me attracted towards items that are not very good. So the leather's really cheap, so we're just going to take all of that. Tools, all of this. Pottery, all of them. Hides, all of them. Velvet is quite expensive. This is a hard sell at that price. But it's trying to tempt me into it, aren't you? So we'll risk it. We got enough money to risk it once. Take that, because we are heading up to the other town. And then we'll just sort of... I mean... Oh, there's a 3 first, that's why. I was thinking we're overweight, but it's not saying we are. Let's just buy some clay. What have we got a lot of? Can get more horses. I'll do. There's no herding. So yeah, we're going to head down to Chikand, and then we'll go up to Makeb, maybe Orthangold as well. And we'll sort of make our way that direction and go do the tournament at that very top town then as well. As I mentioned, we're always going to be on this 3-speed. I wish really there was like a 4-speed, because obviously this ain't the quickest, but I think they probably don't have that in the game. Probably to prolong it a little bit, but also there can be enemies on the map that will catch you out if you're not paying enough attention. Yeah, we don't want to sell everything here. It's not. We know we can get more money for leather elsewhere, so same for the tools. We just sell a couple of those. One more pottery. Just double check there's nothing here as well that we want to pick up while we're going. But you sort of start to see now with the price sort of regulating across the map. We'll sell the velvet. That's a good 200 profit there. Price sort of starts to regulate with some of these items now, so we're getting a lot less than we did when we first started. And we're also able to sell less of it. So head up to Makeb. And once we sort of finish this trade spree, I know you probably want to see some battles and stuff, so we'll get into some of those It's one of the most fun parts of the game, that's for sure. Right, so tools, good price. Felt, good job we picked up that. We'll get rid of all that. Pottery, a couple of those. Hides. It's clay, get rid of all this. Still got the beer, maybe we buy a bit more beer just before we head up to the town to the right of us. We get 10 more. You know, so we've still got quite a few goods in our inventory. We've made back the money we invested in a lot of it. And you know, anything from now on is profit essentially. So we're going to be heading up to Baltac and just have a quick look. So leather, a few of those, tools, a few of those. Pottery's not going to be a no, but we're going to sell off a bit of this beer now. So we got all this for less than, or 40 or less, thereabouts. You know, we've still got quite a few goods. Hopefully we'll be able to get rid of the rest of them at this town up here now. The castles, I don't think they have like trading markets in there. Yeah, not castles don't do a major amount. It's obviously a fortification you can capture, but in terms of like your daily interaction with each of them, yeah, it's not a massive part of the game. Tools is going for massive money up here, and the planks are as well. Get rid of all of those. Hardwood, you know, considering this is at the town just down the road, it's a really high price. Leather's really cheap here, so's linen, which means if I go and have a look, you'll probably find it's selling, or we can buy it, sorry, for really cheap. Buy the pottery as well, probably take the silk, bit of felt, linen, super cheap. I'm going to take all of this. Whilst we might not be able to sell it really high in these towns, I know if we go to the other ones, we're going to be able to buy it for sell it for really high there. Flax, this again doesn't sell for a major amount. We're overweight, but 3 is really cheap, so we'll keep all of that. And we know there's a tournament on here as well, so we're going to join in on that. So looks like a pretty nice horse here. Horse tier 6, so must be pretty good. And so if you've got a throwing spear, sorry, like I have here, you can press X and change it into a weapon. I'm not going to mess around with spears at this range. You can shield bash. I think they changed the way shield bashing works though, because maybe my strength's really low or something, but previously you were able to shield bash them and it would knock the shield out of the way, so they can't just hold it up all the time. But it seems to have changed now, because it just bonks into their shield and doesn't do anything, as mentioned. Yeah, we just want to hit them with one good spear here. Throwing skill's obviously quite low, but yeah, just like that. It's a good shot, 34 damage as well. 29, 1 or 2 shots away. Not every enemy has 100 HP. Some of them may even have more as well, depending on what the athletic skill is and stuff. And keep forgetting to have a look for companions in the tavern as well. Nowhere near that one. So if we're behind him, you can't shoot his bow because you can't look directly back while holding it. And even though we could sword him now, one-handed swing seems to be relatively quick. The bow, we want to level this up because one-handed is always going to be easy to level up. The bozo is going to be a bit more difficult. So while we can sort of get these free shots off, we might as well do it. Gifted us this horse then with this one now. She's got one more spear. And obviously damage scales off speed, so when she's running towards us like that, technically the spear hits her at a faster speed because it adds her movement speed to the impact of the spear. So it ended up doing a lot more damage when she's running at us than when she was stood still. And if we take a look at this horse, yeah, I was going to say I probably can't ride it, but you can see this is a pretty much end game horse already. We'll just keep hold of this. 16,000 is a crazy amount of money, but I tend to find with the end game horses you can't actually buy them. You sort of have to get them either by defeating another party or by doing a tournament as we've just done. But saying that, 62, 31, 62, 71, 31, 62, 71. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep this one. It's got better charge. I was going to say for 5,900, we could just buy this noble mount as well, which is a high tier horse. But this has got better charge and speed, and slightly less maneuver. But we've got certain boosts, haven't we, that increase the maneuver. But yeah, I think we'll leave this episode there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched to this point. If you have any tips or any comments, any questions, anything like that, please leave a comment below, and a like and subscribe, obviously, as it is for everyone, is much appreciated. Yeah, and if you'd like to see some more of this, please let me know. Thanks for watching, everyone.